Hello, this is Paula from Emotional Support for All. Red flags in a relationship. I've even wrote myself some bullet points because I want to ensure that I get the most important ones across to you today. So, isolation from your family and friends. This can happen after a couple of weeks in a relationship. All of a sudden, your parents will be talking rubbish and your friends are talking rubbish, and the only opinion that they want you to listen to is theirs. And this is because they are isolating you from your social network because then no one can challenge him for what a narcissist he's becoming. The lack of respect in a relationship. If you are in a healthy relationship, you will have a partner that will respect your decisions, respect your opinions. They will not belittle or disrespect anything that you say. Again, this could even be an opinion of yours. You know, what we see day in and day out is, well, you're just stupid. You don't know this. So, this is my opinion. So, this is the right way, and you need to listen to it. No, you don't. This is where you lose your identity as a person in your own right because let's say you meet somebody into your 20s, you've lived a long time in life, haven't you? Well, not really, but you've lived. You've got some life experiences. It's never done you wrong up until then. So, think about how come all of a sudden now that you're stupid and you don't know anything and his way's right, and before you know it, that will crush away at your confidence and you will think, yeah, maybe he is right. Maybe I am just thick. And then you're going to have your mental health issues. You're going to have your low confidence or self-esteem. And the only person you will end up trusting in that whole world is him. And he's the person, or she, this could be a she, you need them out of your life. Not that you need them in your life, but this is what a narcissist will do. So they may embarrass you when you're out in public. This could be in front of friends, it could be in front of family, it could be even when you're at the grocery shop and you've scanned something wrong, or if they are belittling you and think it's acceptable to belittle you when you are out in an environment with anybody. That is absolute total disrespect. What respect do they actually have for you if they think it's okay to embarrass you? It also may be that you've even said to them in the past, please don't do that. I don't like it. If I've done something that you're upset with me for, etc., then say it behind closed doors. Don't belittle somebody out in public like that, because again, that is a red flag and that is disrespectful behavior. So, again, the continued emotional abuse. This is day in, day out, and all it does, it will grind you down to the point, again, you're going to suffer with your mental health. Your confidence is going to be on the floor. Then doubts may start to edge away at you, and you think, this is not a healthy relationship. What am I doing? By this time, you've isolated everybody that's around through him. They don't understand why all of a sudden, you're not around, you're not answering texts. They just think you've perhaps moved on, or you don't want to be friends, or etc. Or she's loved up and now she doesn't want to spend time with us, when really they've got absolutely no clue about anything that's happened. Your confidence and self-esteem is on the floor, and you just think, do you know what? The only person that loves me is this narcissist that's in front of me, and this is what they do to control you. It might be that you are suffering with physical abuse. Again, total, absolute red, red, red flag. Anybody who raises a hand to you, you do not want to be in a relationship. And I'm sorry to say, but it gets worse and worse. Once you have stepped over that boundary, it does not get any better. We all like to believe the best in people, and unfortunately, it just doesn't happen. There are very few narcissists and perps that will change their behavior. And it's for a lot of reasons, which perhaps we'll go into in another video. But again, they don't just learn their narcissistic behavior overnight. It'll have been happening for a long time. They will be ex-girlfriends that they say to you, well, she's crazy and she's nuts and she says this, she says that. And you then hate this ex-girlfriend or wife or whatever, when really the root of that problem is the person that you're actually in that relationship with. And unfortunately, at the time, you don't see it, and you don't see it until it's way down the line. And in a lot of cases, you're then trapped in this relationship. So it might be financial issues, the red flags here is where all of a sudden you might have always had good credit, yet all of a sudden now they don't have any money and they want you to put this on your credit card, or they want you to sub them some money, or whatever the reason is. And then you're then into the cycle of financial abuse. It might be that you end up paying them money every month, or it might be the other way round where you then suddenly lose everything and you're reliant on him, and again he has got you trapped, or she. I keep saying he, but it's for both. They have then got you trapped, haven't they? Where are you going to go because you haven't got any money? The money's spent. We've seen cases where women will go out and work all week and they don't even see that paycheck. That paycheck goes straight to the partner and they pay all the bills, and you get a little bit of spending money. And they could be sat on a big pot of money but still tell you there's no money. There's no money for food. There's no money to. So how are you going to get out of that relationship when you have got absolutely no funds at all to fund it? Again, total red flag. Sexual abuse comes in here. This could be by pestering. It's a red flag. Yes, if you're in a healthy relationship and you love that partner, and there is that sexual connection. Totally. But again, if they're pestering you, it could be that, you're on the time of the month and you've had conversations about it before where you're like, I don't feel it at the time of the month. For whatever reason, you're not interested in it. They should respect that decision. If they are still pestering you, that is a red flag. Again, where are they respecting your boundaries, your views? They're not. They're just thinking about themselves. Red flag. That will get worse. Then you'll go along the realms of, well, if you love me, you would. My ex would do it. And no, do not stop them right there. No, but we're not talking about anybody else's relationship. We're talking about your relationship with them. No. So again, we spoke about that briefly. Disrespecting your boundaries. Again, we've already discussed that. Checking up on you constantly. If you are saying that you are going out with friends or family, they know exactly where you're going. You've perhaps said, I'm going to go for a couple of hours. Okay. A healthy relationship would be, okay, have a lovely time. Don't worry about me or the kids or whatever. Contact me if you need anything. Job done. Your phone's in your purse. You don't look at it again for the end of the night. However, a red flag would be if they are constantly messaging you. It might be very nice messages, and you think, no, they're just saying now we've got a lovely night, having a lovely night. Is the pub busy? Who's there? Is there anybody I know? So you think, oh, they're just generally wanting to engage in that conversation. But again, they know where you are, so why are they pestering you? A red flag. They are not checking because they're being nice. They're checking because they want to make sure you've gone to the destination you're saying. You're not doing anything else, and it might be that you've gone with, or what you think are their, yeah, have a lovely night, and they're good wishes, yeah, go have a lovely evening, but really they're seething inside because you've dared to go out and see friends or family and you're not with him. So he's going to make sure that he's on that night somewhere, isn't he? Because he's continuously bombarding with texts. And these texts get worse, don't they? We've all been out with friends and this has happened, and they're constantly on the phone, and you're like, what you doing? You're out with us. It comes across very rude, doesn't it? But again, if that does happen, just try and dig into a little bit of, well, why is this happening then? Because, it might be that they dare not answer, because if they don't, they'll go home and they'll be in trouble. Or it might just be, they might well say, your friends, well, I'm gonna have to reply because he'll go crazy if I don't reply. And again, they are making damn well sure that they are in your life that night when you should be out having fun with your friends. Total red flag. It might be gaslighting you. Do they make you think you are losing your mind by, well, I told you this the other day, didn't I? I was doing this. No, I don't recall that you did say that. Well, yes, I did. Mummy brain or scatterbrain, or again, red flag. They're making you doubt your sanity, and you think that you're going mad. It might be that they take over all aspects of your life. So they start making decisions for you that you wouldn't normally allow. By this point, your confidence is at rock bottom. You feel you can't make your own decisions, so they take over. Each bit, they are taking over your life. It may be that they're dishonest with you. They may lie to you all the time. Total red flag. If you are in a healthy relationship, you should not need to lie to your partners, and it's as simple as that. Do they have erratic behaviors? One minute they're nice, the next minute they're not. It's like sometimes you feel like you've gone into a kitchen and you've flicked a switch and somebody else has walked out, and you're left feeling, well, what's just happened there? It might be that you get a load of love bombing. Then all of a sudden, again, the switch of the switch and it changes. You might get someone with severe trust issues. Again, it might, you don't know the past of their relationship, and it might be, that they've not been treated very nice in the relationship. But again, why are they then in a relationship with you? They're clearly not in a position to be in a relationship because not everybody is like their ex, are they? When you are moving on to a new relationship, you should automatically have that trust there. If they start and break that trust down, again, it's another red flag. You don't need to be lying to people. You don't need to be dishonest with the truth. Just say it how it is, that there's no reason on earth for people to be lying in a relationship. So again, it may be that they're jealous. Are they jealous that you might have a certain male friend or a certain female friend that you've known for years? They will try and destroy that relationship because that will make them feel insecure and less in control, and you've taken the power away from them. But again, if you've had a childhood friend since forever, why now all of a sudden are you being asked to get rid of them? Total red flag. They may start presenting secretive behaviour. So, on one respect, you might be getting, well, you're doing this and you're doing that, and I don't know what you're doing, and you're always on your phone. And, are they doing things themselves, but they find it easier and easier on their conscience to blame you? Why are you secretive? Red flag. You don't see or get anywhere near that phone, and it hasn't always been like that. Total red flag. What are they doing? And I'm not just going down the realms of, it's got to be a cheating issue. Why are they so hell bent on not getting near their phone? But I guarantee you they'll want to know what you're doing on your phone. Again, you're sat having a cuddle or on the sofa and your phone pings, you should be able to pick that phone up and say, oh, it's so and so. Or they're looking over your shoulder and they are wanting to know what you're doing on that phone. Total red flag. Um, what else have we got on my list? Over controlling behavior. Again, this will come within weeks of being in a relationship. And again, this is what you are going to find. So, at the beginning of the relationship, it's the total honeymoon period. Everything's great. You've got this act of a person for the first couple of weeks. Sometimes it takes months, depending. Then your true character comes out, and they will do all of the above, if not more, if not different things. And that is their true personality. Because what it does is it leaves you with, well, they weren't like this when we first met. So why can't we go back to how things were when we first met? That person does not exist. It was an act. I'm sorry to say, but it was an act. People might disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. I work with domestic violence abuse victims every day, and this happens day in and day out. And it's the same conversations that I have. They will say, well, they weren't like this when we first met. It's an act. And I'm willing to bet, again, they'll have painted this ex as such a poisonous person, but I'm also willing to bet that it'll be their behaviour as well. Again, this comes into where a Clare's Law disclosure is advisable, because you then get to know any history. Because again, domestic abuse and all these red flags and this narcissistic behaviour does not happen overnight. It is not your fault, and you don't suddenly make somebody do this. They will have done it in past relationships and they'll do it in future relationships. So, yeah, have a think about these red flags. It might be something in your relationship that I've not mentioned today, and you think, yeah, so and so does that, and that is a bit strange actually. And the more you look, the more you'll see things that aren't quite right. And again, I'm not here to destroy every relationship. What I'm here to do, is empower you to make your own decisions, give you that knowledge on what is a healthy relationship and what's not a healthy relationship. It might be you could sit here and say to me, well, when I'm out with my friends, my partner messages me, and I'm happy to do that because I like to tell him what I'm doing. And if you're okay with that, then that's fine. My point is, if you're out with your friends, you should be enjoying your free time with your friends, not sending 40, 50, 60 messages and calls when you go to each, for example, pub. That's not healthy, and that is a red flag, because again, you're not out with them, are you? So just look at it like that. Just be open-minded to the things that I've said today. If it helps one person, if it gets the word spread, I'm totally happy with that. So thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. It's absolutely free. Let's build my channel. Um, whether that's being here for each other, emotional support, domestic violence facts. Yeah. So whatever you're doing today, be kind to yourself, have a lovely day, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.